Hello. Today, somebody asked me a question, or I guess it was more of a statement. They said, Kurt, what am I getting out of this spiritualism stuff? My life, with my life, I have these people to take care of, and I have to stay more focused on my life because I've got these people I got to take care of, and I know that I will get more out of my life if I can figure out how to attain Zen. I'll be able to apply it to my life. Before my spiritual awakening took place, things were so much better. I had a better job, a better relationship, my finances were in place, and now everything's a mess. And right now I'm doing everything I can to just maintain my life, which makes it hard for me to acquire this Zen or get to this Zen that you're talking about. I know it's important, but I'm really just trying to pay attention to my life right now, and I don't know if I can really get anything out of this spiritual talk. Right? I'm paraphrasing, but that was kind of the gist of what they said to me. And I just want to take a minute to do this video, or 10 or however long this video is going to be, and just point some things out to you guys that might help you to kind of get a sense of what spiritualism really is and what you're going to be getting out of spiritualism. So, yeah, you're going to be getting a better life out of spiritualism. But let's be clear about some terminology first, because this is where language is a problem. Language is a big, big problem when you're trying to explain these deep spiritual concepts, especially in the Western world. Our language is based on separation consciousness, duality, right? The mind. And there just aren't words to convey some of these deeper spiritual concepts. In my video yesterday, I talked about how the native culture that lived here in the United States, where I live, they were here before the Europeans came, right? And one of the tribes of the Native American culture that lived here was called Hopi. And they had words for these deeper spiritual concepts that I'm going to try to explain to you. And one concept that I explain to you might take a whole minute. They've got one word for it, and we just don't. So that's why spiritual teachers tend to be long-winded sometimes, and what they do seems arduous and confusing because we don't have language for it. So let's start with a few misconceptions in what this person said to me. The first thing was they said they need to get their life to start working out. They've got all these people they got to take care of, finances, all these things. Well, that's not your life. That is your situation. Your life is you. Your life is you. You are life. You are the consciousness. That's what life is. And this isn't just some frivolous technicality. This is so key. If you want to derive the benefit from spiritualism, you really need to get this. This isn't some frivolous talking point that I'm making. This is what it all comes down to. Going in here to where your life is, which is you. That's what you is. Life. Right? All that other stuff is your life situation. And if you can get your life, if you can go in here to where your life is, your life situation will start working out. I promise. I promise. We'll talk more about that in a bit. Okay, also, what am I getting out of spiritualism? Well, you can't get anything out of it. If what you're doing, if your whole approach is, I got to get something out of this, what am I getting out of this? More money, a better job, better relationships, a better relationship with my family, whatever it is. Whatever you're trying to get out of it, if you have that ulterior motive, it's not going to work. You need to do your spiritual ascension for the sake of doing your spiritual ascension. No ulterior motives. No ulterior motives. You go in here because you want to. You go in here because it feels good. Well, Kurt, what does going in there mean? We're going to talk specifically about that. Well, right now. Why not? I'll do it right now. It's really easy. You're not going to believe how easy it is. You're not going to believe how easy it is, but I'll tell you what it is, and then I will explain why it is that way, and why it really does work, and why you don't believe that it is that easy. All you have to do is switch the focus of your attention to the present and make a lifestyle out of it. That's it. That's all you got to do. And your mind is going, what? What is that going to do? That's stupid. That's not going to work. Here's the thing. If you are present, so there's kind of two aspects to this. The first one is presence, switching your attention to the present. Why does that work? Your soul, your spirit, whatever word you want to pick, is consciousness. There's thoughts going on, and then there is a you that sees the thoughts going on. What is that? Consciousness. That's what that is. That's what that is. Awareness, the witness, the watcher, the seer, the observer. Consciousness. And it is not thought. The only thing that the soul says is, I am. And the mind goes, I am what? What are you talking about? It's got to be this, it's got to be that. It's good, it's bad, it's good, it's bad, it's past, future. I like it, I don't like it. That's the mind. That's thought. And you is what sees all this thinking going on. You are the silent witness, the observer, consciousness. When you do the thing that we call die, your mind ceases to function and your body ceases to exist. All that's left is the consciousness. It is awareness. It is attention. It is consciousness. It is focus. Switch the focus of your attention to the present. That's the most important thing. The second thing is called mindfulness. Now, mindfulness is actually that instant where you go, oh God, I'm in my head again, and then you switch your attention to the present. That's all it is. That's all it is. Tools to help you. Read The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. Watch the Samadhi movie, Samadhi. Just watch part 1. It's for free on YouTube. Read Conversations with God by Neil Donald Walsh. Do those 4 things. Learn to recognize when you are in your head. Your attention, your consciousness lives in your mind right now. And your mind is like a big cloud of thoughts going on all the fucking time. And you've been doing that your whole life. You're just used to it. You don't even realize that you are doing that. And you've been doing it for so long that it's like permanently shifted into that place at all times. Always in thought. Always, always, always. And the thoughts also create emotions that you feel. It makes you feel bad. And you're always looking to somebody else to get something. Something to make me feel good, right? Duality. There's a me and there's a them. And I need some other thing to make me feel whole. That's the mind. The mind is duality. Feel good, feel bad. It's right, it's wrong. It's past, it's future. There's me and there's all these other things. And I need all these things so that I can feel whole because you think you are the I, the mind. That's what you think I is. And your consciousness is so shifted into that cloud, you don't even know you're doing it. Well, if you catch yourself doing it, and your attention is focused in the cloud, you catch yourself doing it, you go, ah, and then you switch to being present. You just are in this place that you're in the room that you're in, you feel your body from the inside out, you're just listening to the sounds around you, the ringing in your ears, whatever. You're present. And the mind, you treat it like it is external to you, because it is. Because it is. And you have to make a lifestyle out of doing this over and over and over again. 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 All day, every day. Just get really, really good at doing that. Catching yourself in your mind, and then, oh gosh, I'm in my mind, and then being present. And over time, you'll shift energetically into being more of the soul, more consciousness, more of the spirit. And you don't have to do anything else. And the mind is going, well, that's stupid. That's not going to work. Why would that? That does not make any sense. Come on. I got to figure all these things out, and I got to do all these things. You mean to tell me all I got to do is shift the focus of my attention to the present and just stay in that state as much as possible, and somehow I'll go through this big shift? Yeah, that is exactly what I'm saying. Now, why does the mind resist that? Because what that does is take all the control away from your mind. Well, how is that going to change my life situation? Don't I need to do all these things and figure all this stuff out to get that to work better? No, you do not. The doing comes after the being. You got to do the being first. You guys have it backwards. You're trying to do the doing first so that you can get to a place where you will be being. If I do all these things, I'll have all this money, time, relationship, whatever, and then I can be happy. Switch it. Do the being first. And being is what happens when you switch your attention to the present. In spiritualism, they call that being. I am, right? I am. Right? You see the spiritual guy doing that, right? But that's what it is. Being present, being, getting out of the mind, getting out of that. The mind is an amazing tool. It's not bad. I'm not saying the mind is bad. If anything, the mind is good. But what is a problem is when you believe you are your mind and you live through that, and everything you do is through the mind. And when you shift energetically into consciousness, which is what you are, things just kind of happen in your life situation. Things just happen in your life situation. I know that sounds nutty to the mind, but that really is how it works, you guys. It's like fucking magic. It's awesome. It's awesome. And I'll give you an analogy to sum up why it works that way. Your soul is in control of everything that is happening in your life situation. Think about it. You're a spiritual person, right? Or at least maybe you're trying to be. And when I say to you that source, which your soul is, a tiny little piece of source at its core, right? Source, God, whatever, the universe, whatever word you want to pick, non-dogmatic word, right? Is creating everything in your life situation, everything, every circumstance, the big things, new job, losing a job, getting married, getting divorced, I don't know, an illness, a car crash, winning the lottery, and the little stuff. I lost a pen. I lost on a scratch ticket. Somebody I walked by on the street, just some stranger, whatever. You walk by this person, whatever, anything, big, small, anything. Your soul is creating all of that stuff. Your soul is bringing you all of those experiences. And I say that to you, and you're sitting there going, well, yeah, that has to be true. It must be true, right? You're a spiritual person. I don't have to explain that to you. That's got to be true. God, the universe, your soul, all working together to create all these things. But the mind, when I tell you, well then, fuck it, go for broke and align with your soul. Do that. Use the tools that I gave you earlier, the books and the movie, and align with your soul. and just be present, and your whole life situation will start to change around you. It's weird. It's like magic. And your mind is going, that's stupid. That's not going to work. I got to figure everything out. You see the contradiction? You know that what I'm saying is true, that your soul is creating all the things in your life situation, but then the mind says, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not just going to be present all the time. Fuck that. I'm going to try to figure everything out. Okay. But you see the problem there. You see the contradiction. You are not your mind. You are the soul. Your mind is a tool that you should be using, but instead the mind is using you. Isn't that nice? You want to shut that down? Use the tools that I gave you earlier in this video. Keep watching my videos. Or you can take, if you met your twin flame, which if you're watching this video on this channel, you probably have, you can take my Introduction to the Journey online video course available at my website, newworldallstar.com. You'll be the best person you can be, and you'll get your twin flame to talk to you again. But here's an analogy. Here's an analogy. You're in a car, driving. The car represents your physical body. You, the driver, is the soul. And next to you, in a child seat, in a baby seat, is a child. And it has the little fake plastic steering wheel, you know? The type that has the little fake plastic steering wheel. So that baby can help daddy drive the car. And when baby turns the wheel this way, does the car go that way? No. Daddy, me, the driver, I turn the real steering wheel this way, and the car goes that way. And the baby keeps turning the steering wheel this way, and it goes, it's not working, God damn it. Why? I want the car to go this way. And your soul is going, oh, well, we're going this way. Your mind is not creating anything in your life. No matter how much your mind, not you, notice the words that I'm using. Again, language, there's a language barrier. Language, it's difficult to use the modern language we have to convey these deeper spiritual concepts. So ordinarily, you might say, well, I need to figure everything out in order to create things. What's really going on is the I in that sentence is your mind, your ego, your personality. It is saying, I need to do all these things to create things in my life. You are not the one saying that. Your mind is, your personality. Again, you live in the cloud of thought. Your consciousness is focused in that cloud so much, and you're so used to doing that you don't even recognize that the mind is the one who is saying, I need to be in control and do all these things to make things happen in my life situation. You don't even realize that it is the mind doing that. You just blurt out, I need to do all these things, thinking that that is you that is saying that. It is not. It's your mind. It's your personality. It's the ego. It's the patterns. It's the conditioning, right? The mind isn't creating anything. The mind is not creating anything in your life situation. Not a fucking thing. Nothing. The mind is good for solving problems, for making plans. It's a tool. And you can use that tool to create, but it does not do the actual creating. They sent people to the moon in the 60s, right? And what did they use? Slide rulers, algebra. Any of you that are old enough to remember like long division, remember that? Long division, you had to do it on paper. They don't really teach that to kids anymore these days. They have a calculator. Well, they didn't have calculators back in the 60s. So back in the 60s, you had to be really smart, and you had to know how to do all that stuff by hand. And you'd have like 10 people doing all these calculations that can all be done, and it would take them hours to do all these calculations that can be done today in about 5 minutes by a computer, right? But that's just what they had to do. They worked with what they had. They had slide rulers. Okay, all that shit, the pencil and the paper and the slide ruler, those are tools. Those are tools. They would like pre-plan every move that the spacecraft was going to make ahead of time. You know, they plan the mission to the moon. They start planning it like a year in advance because there's a shitload of math that you got to work out first. And you had to have like a bank of 50 people doing all this, double checking each other, figuring, calculating. And now, instead of taking a year to plan out a mission to the moon, we could do it in about 15 minutes because we have a computer. Right? But hey, yeah, you got to do what you got to do. Well, anyway, they were using tools. And then when it came time to do the actual creating, they pushed the fucking button and the rocket lifted off and went to the moon. How about that? How about that? Use the tool. Use your mind. Don't let it use you. Don't let it use you. What actually does the creating in your life is your soul. And I'm telling you, if you align with your soul, if you embrace true spiritualism, using the tools that I outlined earlier in this video, being present all the time, getting out of your mind, your life situation will change. It will. I promise. And at first it'll seem like magic. It's like that. It seems like magic at first. But now that you understand the mechanism and how it functions, I've just explained it to you. It's not magic anymore. It's technology. It's not magical or mysterious. Everything is happening in this moment. Anything that is going to be created is always being created right now. No matter what time it is and when, it's always happening in the moment. And the soul is happening in the moment. That's not a mystery. We can explain it. It's technology. It's technology. It's not mysterious. It's not magical. But it sure is fun when you're able to do that, when you're able to manifest things, when you're able to manifest your best life, almost seemingly with little to no effort, when you have aligned with your soul. It is still a lot of fun, trust me. There you go, guys. Thanks for watching. If you liked this, please hit subscribe. And when you do, don't forget to hit the little bell notification icon. When you do that, thank you for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day, guys. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.